So, do you want to know the real story?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the real story. You're going to be the first one to get it. I pitched the story to a big magazine in Louisiana, and they wanted it, but they've not come back. So, you're going to get it.
That right there is Sarah Douga.
Not Douga.
Not Douga. And she'll pronounce her name
Not
for us here in just a minute.
Not Douga.
Isn't it funny how sometimes the shortest names get botched the hardest?
I do.
It's a special interview. She tells us things I've never been told in public before. She performs for us right here in the studio. That was a first.
She walked in with her guitar and I was like, oh, what a treat. And then it was better than expected.
Yeah.
That was some talent to be able to perform like that on the spot.
Yeah.
This room isn't like built for acoustics.
And
that was incredible.
Her story is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Her story is fun. It's amazing. Thank you, Simon Says, for yet another outfit there.
Listen.
Simon Says down in Wedgwood, Houston. They are a gem for men's clothing and women's clothing. But
Okay, so I need to go.
You need to go. If you want a cool hat, and I know you're into hats, they make them there on site, and they do everything.
Did not know that they had women's clothing, so now I'm going to go.
So, and it's a bunch of boss women owners in this one little block there over at Standard Assembly, and they are a force to be reckoned with. And just watch out for that area. But if you have a guy who has style issues, it's Simon Says, right?
Don't they all? Don't they all?
We all do. We all do. So, you getting ready to move into a new house soon? That's very exciting, Nick. I'm very excited for you.
They're telling us
and the family.
3 weeks. Yeah, finally going to be in there. Can't wait. I'm so excited. My house is a disaster. My life is a disaster right now.
Isn't it? It's like starting over again because
you
get to arrange everything the way you want it. You get to put everything where you want it, and you get to see this house that you've been imagining for how long? 2 years?
We bought the property in 2021.
So if she looks a little haggard on the next few episodes, if not the news,
it's because I can't find anything because it's all in boxes. Still.
And she agreed to fill in for me at the Nashville of the Year on behalf of Easter Seals the day after you move in.
Yes,
you're a saint. You bailed me.
I'm honored to do that. That is a big deal. Yeah. And I don't know if I would do it for any other cause, but that is one that absolutely is worth it.
And it's cool. We've got people that have reached out to us about doing sponsorships on the show. So, okay, here we're growing up fast.
No, this is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
There's some, no, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. But there's some big things happening right now. And can I tell a quick story?
Please.
We were just talking about it. And Andy, my daughter, is here. She's up there. So if you hear music in the background, that's what she's doing. But we were just talking about it, and I said something. Can I say what I said?
Yeah.
I said, Uncle Neil and Mommy are gonna do something big again. And she said, well, are they gonna boss you around? And I said, no, baby. She goes, oh, good. That's what I do.
It's amazing. Right. And she does well at it. It's amazing the stuff that even her age she picks up.
Yeah, she remembers.
That's cool. You want to jump into this interview?
It's a really good one.
Okay.
Y'all are gonna love it. I love anyone who jumps right in and doesn't do surface. Yeah. I mean, she did the pleasantries, but she is not afraid to tell her story.
Now, and the crazy thing here, Nikki's gonna change outfits in the 10 seconds it takes to roll the open of the show right now. How many people actually pronounce your name correctly?
Well, it depends on where we are.
Okay.
Here it's very rare.
Yes.
At home, it's pretty common.
You're Douga here.
Yeah, it's proper as Douga.
Douga, right.
Yeah. Or the cute thing is when people know that I'm French and they'll go, Sarah Douga.
Yes.
Here, they try to be.
Oh, we try to go over the top.
Yeah.
But you are from Louisiana, and that's where the pronunciation is from. And
that's right.
And French is very prominent down there as well. So we totally get it.
Yeah, and you know what? French is so prominent until I moved to Nashville, I didn't realize how much French we spoke, like in everyday language. Because I'll say things and people are like, "What? I'm like, oh my God, that's a French word."
That's crazy.
But tell people how to spell your last name so that when they go and look you up.
My friend Mindy Miller always says it's Doug with an A.
Love it.
Douga.
Yep.
Good marketing.
Can you teach us how to Dougie?
Yeah, you know what? Everyone at home does call me Doogie.
See?
Well,
you just have this swag about you. I felt like you could pull out.
No one pronounced Jason Aldean's name correctly when he got to town. So he used to say it's like Al Green, but Al Dean,
oh, that's
right?
Great.
And
I love Al Green.
And I never forgot the proper way to say his last name.
I'm sure that Al Green also appreciates the marketing.
So, how long have you been in Nashville?
6 years this month.
6
Yeah.
years. Has it gone fast?
I guess kind of, because COVID was smack dab in the middle of it, you know?
Yeah.
But I got here, and the first thing I did was play the Opry, so it was like,
What a welcome. Oh my God.
Hi, sis.
Hi.
Wait.
Hi.
No, explain how that happens. How does that happen?
Yeah, how does that happen for people?
I mean.
I don't know if I can
Babe.
repeat it, but I was in Louisiana and I met Jim Lauderdale. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Who isn't?
The king of Americana. I adore him. And
Yeah.
we were at a songwriters retreat, and he said, honey, I'm going where you're going. I want to write what you're writing. He was so funny. I thought he was messing with me, but he really did. I said, I'm going to England next week. And he goes, oh, I'm coming too. And he bought a ticket. And we went. Yeah, so we went to Pinard House, Chris Stifford. Do you remember the band Squeeze?
Of course.
Okay, so Squeeze's steel guitar player, Chris Stifford, puts
Yeah.
on a songwriters retreat out in Somerset, England every June
Yes.
at Pinard House. It's real proper, beautiful. And we were there, and we wrote a song called I'll Forgive You If You Don't. And then we became really fast friends, and he used to call me every day. He's so funny, and he would leave me these voicemails. I have an entire Dropbox file called The Lauder Tales.
Oh,
Of these
that's
outlandish.
fascinating.
Yeah. So when I moved here, he asked me on to play the Opry with him.
Jim doesn't just take up with anyone.
Right.
It's not like some sort of fluke, right? He has to see something there. What did he see in you, do you think? What kind of caught his attention?
Do you know what he told me? That I haven't really told anybody this. I'm already tearing up. He comes to the house and writes sometimes, but I mean, he's my honey. I adore him.
Of course you do.
But he told me the last time we were together, he goes, Sarah, I miss my friends, and I'm so glad to have you to write with, because you're right up there with Harlan and Melba. He was talking about
Harlan Howard,
and
yeah.
Melba Montgomery.
Yeah.
That is so sweet.
It was the sweetest.
Yeah.
And then we had to just keep writing. I was like, you can't say stuff like that to me in the middle of the day, and you want me to just shove it down and keep working.
Sarah, I just
Well-
met you, but I feel like you just like meet people and you just bond with them, and your heart just like connects with people, because we met you through Carrie,
Mhm.
because you
I felt
just
the same way.
yes, your heart. And she called Neil and then told me, and she was like, you know this girl, you gotta have her on there. Our hearts just aligned, and there's something there, and I
Aw.
can't explain it. And I was like, cool, like she said, seems amazing. And then in the 15 minutes we've got to talk, I feel that too. So
Yeah.
you have something about you
Thank you, Nikki.
that I can't put my finger on it, that clearly Jim saw too.
Thank you. I think it's like a long time of getting comfortable with pain.
Oh.
When you can sit in that, then
Yeah.
your real self can shine out. Do you know what I mean? But you know what it also does? Is it makes people who are uncomfortable with seeing their pain. I'm a polarizing individual. So either people adore me or they go running.
Well, I don't like
That's-
people who go running. They're missing out.
That's amazing. One of Jim's famous quotes is, "You don't have to. Every song doesn't have to be about heartbreak or whiskey. It just has to tell a good story." And so,
He does do that.
and that's when I listen to your music, I hear good stories.
Thank
Right?
you.
So, did that come naturally? I mean, you started writing music when you were what, like still in diapers,
Something like that.
something like that. 8.
I was 8, yeah.
Eight.
I was getting ready for school in the morning, and I felt like I was going to throw up. But I ran to my room, and it was a song coming out. So I really don't think that you get to choose this life, because wouldn't we choose something where it was more stable?
What was the
What? The music industry's not stable? What?
Ask me how many jobs I have right now. Anyway,
What was the song?
it was called I Need, and it was...
Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding?
Okay.
I need you to go, to get away from my heart and away from my soul. I need to always be warm and never be cold. And it broke out into this, to go away.
You were 8 when those words came.
That's what I'm saying. That's not an 8-year-old's mind. It comes from the world. You just channel that
I
stuff.
was-
An
I was-
8-year-old, that's incredible.
I was catching frogs and collecting baseball cards, and I'm trying to think. No, that's really kind
Well,
of
that worked
amazing.
out pretty good for you. Weren't you a big weather...
I was on the news for.
Yes, but your famous moment was like the 1998 tornado
Oh,
outbreak.
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I
Okay,
did my research. Yeah.
You
I was
did-
7,
you
so I
did-
wasn't here.
You did counterintelligence on this podcast. You're not allowed to do that. That is no.
Oh, really? It was a no-no.
No, I was on the air for 17 hours that day. My mom actually saw me on CNN, and
Oh, shit.
she called me up. And you know what she said to me?
What?
Fix your hair. Not congratulations. Not this is amazing. Not I can't believe the tornadoes.
Are
Not
you
any of
okay?
that. It's fix your hair.
Thanks,
And
Mom.
like
Forever I'll be...
yeah, right. All of this. But So 8 years old, you start writing, and then it's just been a passion of yours ever since. And
I got the bug.
To this day.
Well, it's like you find the deepest parts of yourself in the world. Have you ever read The Alchemist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you know how he speaks about getting into the soul of the universe?
Yes.
I know exactly what
There is a connection.
That's how you feel.
Yeah, and it's like if you don't do it for even a couple of days, I get upset. Like I miss myself, or I think yogis feel that way too. You know, when you do, are you a yogi?
Yeah.
So if you like go away from yoga for a couple of days, you're like, oh, I miss myself.
Yeah.
So
Well, like you said, you felt like you were gonna throw up as a kid. Like you had to get it out. Is it
Yeah.
like an anxiety? Like you have to get it out.
I don't really feel that way anymore because I keep my phone with me all the time and it's always just flows.
Because you know it fixes that feeling.
Correct.
Yeah.
But as a child, you're under someone else's jurisdiction with your time. So, you know, you just kind of have to deal. But I think that's probably what it was. But now I'm never under someone else's jurisdiction with my time.
You're over jurisdiction of 2 little ones. Though.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Tell us about
Yes. I have a 10-year-old boy, Caius, Caius.
Love that name.
He's brilliant. Oh my gosh, he's brilliant. And the sweetest little thing. I just bought them Apple Watches. And
He's
now-
10, so he's already written his first song?
Of course he has.
Okay. just making sure.
But you know, he's quite shy. He doesn't tell me a
Oh,
whole lot.
really?
Here's the thing. That boy, I think, is going to be a producer. And I've told him years ago, I was like, before you leave my household, you will go to Blackbird. Because I feel like that's your jam. I'll never make you take music lessons. But you will go to Blackbird.
Yeah.
He's just, we'll ride in the car. And honestly, I feel for other songwriters or producers whose children are also musically inclined because you never get to hear your own version of the song. So homie is like humming 10 different bass lines the whole time. And you're
Really?
like, Caius, can
Wow.
mom please hear the song as it was done?
Is your daughter like this too?
Okay, my daughter is Catherine. She's 8. Catherine Odali. Odali was my grandmother's name and we called her Dolly. So I call her Catin, which is baby doll in French. In my French, in Parisian French, it's a terrible word, so sorry, anybody over there.
What is it?
It's like a skank, but you know,
Oh.
way worse. Yes, but here it's like a term
It's
of endearment.
corrupt.
Wait, that's crazy.
I know. Our language is.
So Cajun French is that different?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and like it's kind of slangy, you know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that. Yeah, I learn every day on TikTok words that we use that I'm like, oh man. I think that's a racial slur. We've been,
We've been saying
correct.
My daughters use words that I still can't figure out what they were trying to get at.
Yeah.
Like
How old are
what does
yours?
that mean?
Well, they're
They're 15, 18.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're on a
So-
whole nother level.
They're
yeah.
what?
You look sane though. Good job.
I am kind of saying
It's thanks to Carrie.
we have moments. We have lots of moments. But that's great. That what's she into? What's Catherine into?
She creates her own world.
She imagination. Just
Yes, and she loves to sing and she does drama. But let me tell you, the special thing about that child is she will clock me. Here's an example. One day I was getting ready to go to the zoo with my friend Cece. Okay, and I said to myself under my breath, I said, "Oh, my stomach kind of hurts." And Catherine, who's 8, says, "Girl, you have anxiety because this person just stood you up, and you're scared Cece's going to do the same." And I said,
Your 8-year-old.
"Dang!" She was dead on.
She said girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's funny like that. Yeah.
But she sounds like she has that same gift you do.
Yeah,
She's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
This
really?
ain't her first time around this.
That connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that. Yeah. So
Yeah. She's sweet. Kay says too, he's just a deeper thinker, quieter.
he's a boy.
Yes.
Him's a boy.
He's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta say. He's
Yeah,
a boy.
you get it.
He's a guy.
Yeah. To himself.
Okay, so we kind of skipped over this part, but tell us more about yourself because you write songs, you sing, and you just
You
kind
come
of
to
show her.
Yeah.
you come to town. You go on the opera your first day here, right off the bus, right? So
Cajun raised in a cowboy town. Y'all see this? How cute is this?
That's home. That's Lake Charles, Souther,
We
Louisiana.
love it. We love it.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about your music.
So I consider myself like true country, but my cuts as a songwriter have been all over the place. My biggest success was I had 2 songs on a #1 record. I wrote the title track and the first single. It went ARIA #1, which is like Australia's Billboard.
Sure.
For Ella Hooper, who's my dearest friend. I love her so much. I'm really proud of that record, but I'm mostly proud of it because she'd been a huge rock star in her childhood, and it was her and her brother that wrote all the songs, so she had never co-written with anyone else. So I was super proud to help her, like, really tell her real truth, and she was a little concerned about how the public was going to take it, so it was so awesome to see it skyrocket for her. So anyway, I'm saying that to say I have cuts all over. I have a cut that's about to come out with Louise Goffin. That's Carole King and Jerry Goffin's daughter.
Yes.
She was the first woman I ever wrote with, but hers is like pop, rock, and so I'm everywhere as far as the songwriter.
Yeah.
I just love the truth. I'm a truth chaser, I guess. And then I'm a producer as well. I've produced my last Joe and Jen I did with Lee Horrocks, who was amazing. But I don't know where he is now. I don't know if he's in Franklin anymore. But I love to produce records. I love to bring people together, and I'm such a lucky girl because I have the best of the best that come and play for me, and they let me produce them down. And I'm a rookie in that lane, you know. But that's my passion, and I love to perform. The Station Inn is probably, you asked me a while ago.
Oh, yeah, we didn't want to call out any specific names
I
here.
love the Station.
The Station Inn, I've seen videos of you at the Bluebird. I've seen you do, you've done some great venues and with some great people.
Yeah, so
Ella's one, right?
Ella's one. And I just did one with Emily West, the Dolly Parton tribute at 3rd and Lindsley.
Yeah.
The sound in there. And the crowd is so fun.
Yeah.
The last time I played the Station was when Woman Out of Me. I just had a single come out.
Yes.
And I've never been to the Station Inn where they sing the words back to you, and people were getting crunk up in the station. This one guy stood up at the end of it, and he goes, "It's a revival."
Stop it.
I loved it so much.
That's fun when you can touch people like that. That's great.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, they come to see themselves, you know?
Yeah.
So it's fun when they feel that.
How did you get the learning curve so fast in this town? A lot of people come here and they have that imposter syndrome. They have trouble doing all the connections and stuff like that. But it seems like you just walked in and said, "I'm here. Let's go."
I just think that I don't have the tolerance for fear.
Yeah.
That you're seeing the good side of that. The bad side of that is, oh man, I've tripped over my feet. I've fallen on my face. I've ruined relationships. But I'd rather be messy and real and just honest and figure it out as I go than careful. And to be quite frank, I'm 34. I don't have time to be careful.
I get it.
Yeah, I just want to be real.
Is that what Woman Out of Me is?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the PC version.
Please do.
And then we'll decide if we're going to tell the
Can
whole
I just
story.
say that when that song comes on, it sounds like ZZ Top LaGrange at the very
What I
beginning.
said.
It's
So
that riff.
Yep, that's what I said. I said, hey, baby, give me Tony Joe White meets ZZ Top and Shania Twain. Like, if Mud liked clean production, that's what I want.
Yep.
Oh.
Nailed it.
Thank
I
you.
hear that. There's a couple other songs where I hear other stuff that I think you kind of
I love
influenced
that you
by.
can catch that, because as a producer,
yeah.
that's like the biggest, what you're feeling from that.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me tear up. So,
You know what I did? I actually played them next to each other, back and forth.
it's pretty close, huh?
And I was like, that is the coolest thing ever.
Okay, so that guy playing that is Austin Crum.
Yeah.
He's younger than me, and I swear that's an 80-year-old man in like a 20-something-year-old body.
Crazy.
He's so good. And like every time I get to play with him, I'm thinking to myself, that boy's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day, and I'm getting to play with him right now. It's so cool. I
Right
love
that you
it.
think like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But you're so intuitive, so I feel like you are like speaking that into existence.
Austin is, if you get to see him, he plays with me at the Station Inn. So
Okay.
if you see my next, I know I'm already teary. The boy is just so good. And it was so funny. I give people, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay. I give people 10 kinds of hell. So to play with me, you have to.
That's cussing. In Cajun, Louisiana, that's cussing.
No,
I got
sir.
people 10 kinds of heck. It is brutal out there.
Actually, I tend to get myself in trouble, so
That's
I'm
cute.
trying to be
It's
careful.
okay.
No, rough.
Let's get yourself in trouble.
All right.
Come
I
on.
like
Yeah,
that.
we got a shovel in the let's
Tell us
dig.
the real story.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so go back to the song,
Real
what it's about. Now that
Oh, yeah.
now I messed up the trend.
I'm going to tell you the story I tell on stage, and then I've pitched this. I'm going to tell you the real story. You're going to be the first one to get it. I pitched the story to a big magazine in Louisiana, and they wanted it, but they've not come back, so you're going to get it.
There you go.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So here's the PC version that I tell on stage, is that I was in Lafayette, Louisiana, and we were at a songwriter's retreat, which is true. And we were sitting at this bar, and this guy kept messing with me, and I was doing that thing where you go like,
Yeah.
Right. Heavy eye roll.
Exactly, and he wasn't taking the hint. So finally I leaned in and ripped him a new ego.
Good.
And
You gave him 10 kinds of heck.
I tried to do it quiet, but evidently
Bam.
Jamie in Commons heard it, because the next day we were in the writing room, and he said, Douga, I heard you tell that guy off. We're going to write that song tonight. Woman Out of Me. Now, all of it is complete bullshit. And that is the story that I've told for years.
I get it.
I wrote that in 2017 or 2018 with Jamie. Jamie N. Commons is a fabulous writer, by the way. His big hit was Hold Me While You Wait, Louis Capaldi. Amazing guy.
Oh.
And he's one of those writers that really loves artists because he can get in there and see the truth. And he made me write this song. So, do you want to know the real story?
Yeah.
So
I'm not even going to talk. Right?
You're in.
I'm like...
I'm from Lake Charles, okay?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm from a community of Cajun people that is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's something that's sad about it, it's that it's driven on a faith that people interpret, I'm being very careful with my words here, that women are to be second. And that echoes throughout the state. And it is completely bothersome for me. Not personally, because I'm strong enough to, I don't give a fuck. I will uproot and roll. But there's a lot of women back home who may not have the opportunity to do such a thing, and they're amazing. And every time I see one more massive show roll out and there's not a single woman, and I'm like, God, you're missing out on all these opportunities. The one woman that I felt like did really well was Megan Brown in this band called Soulful, who really influenced me, a French band. I got my start singing in French, singing French music. Anyway, so the real story is, we're in Louisiana. I moved from Sulphur. I got married. I moved to Lafayette, Louisiana. I married a guy. And I had gotten asked to, I had just released this record that I wrote in high school called Boots, Bras, and Draws. Listen, I could not get
I love that.
Yeah,
Boots,
it's a good song.
Bras, and Draws.
It's a good song.
I'm glad you know what draws are.
Yes.
Yes.
So
That's not with an L, that's with a W.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
baby.
Jaws.
Your draws.
Your jaws.
Drop.
Hold that shirt up.
I draw.
Hold that shirt up, Nikki. That's what we're talking. That's the language we're
Cajun
speaking
raising the
here.
cowboy down. So I had released this record I wrote in high school. Listen, I couldn't get a gig in a Mexican restaurant. I couldn't get anything in Louisiana. And I was really trying. And the weird thing is that your community is so sweet there. Like, you will never go through anything alone. Your regular, everyday people will always have your back. Cajun people are the most beautiful. I love it. And I actually really find that here in Nashville, too. Anyway, so I released this record with no PR. I had no idea what I was doing. I was breastfeeding a baby. And Bob Harris, Chris Smith picked it up for Country Music People magazine and wrote a really lovely review. And
He's based here in Nashville, right?
Chris Smith?
Yeah.
Is he really?
I think so. Anyway, go ahead.
I'd love to meet him. And then Bob Harris read it and ended up putting me on the radio and BBC Two, which is like 21 million listeners a week, and I have all kinds of stories from there. Anyway, but the point is, I got global recognition, and I couldn't get a gig at a Mexican restaurant. So, but because that was happening, I got asked to be part of a songwriters retreat that was going to happen in Lafayette, and it was the Lafayette Consolidated Government, which I thought was really cool. And the mayor at the time did a really hard initiative to get that going, and I really think he was trying to make sure the music and arts economy of Lafayette was going to thrive, because we watch New Orleans does a great job, and Lafayette should have the same, Lake Charles should have the same, and we don't. So anyway, I got asked to be part of this, and I got a sponsor, came in and paid for, Kenny Klessman, came in and paid for my way in. You had to pay, it's a couple grand. And so you go in and they mix newcomers with big dog songwriters. That's where I met Jim. So the first year it was amazing, and then I got to go all over the place because of it. And then second year, the guy who was running it, I'm not going to say his name, but that guy asked me to help him get people to come back. And I did. And I called all the contacts I had made in Nashville, and all these people came down. And then the day of the event, I showed up. I had done all this. Actually, Al Green was part of it. I'd done all this marketing. Yes. And I love him, by the way. He is so cool. I'd gone to all these events, paid for babysitters to go do all these things, and then the day of gets there, and he says, "Oh, you're not writing." I said, "Hang on a minute, homie. Did you just utilize me for a year, and then
leave you out of the event?"
Yes, but let me tell you something. Mary Gaucher threw a fit, and she was like, "I'm leaving. That person's here for me. They're leaving. That person's leaving. Either that or Douga's writing." So I wrote. But I ended up writing, what he was trying to do was make a woman out of me, in the Cajun sense of the word. He wanted me, he used me, and then he was big into sports. So that's what the second verse is like.
That'd be a hard story to condense and put onto a stage.
Also,
so I like the stage story for how you use it, because there is a parallel story and other people can understand this one.
Correct. It's more... Yeah, easy, palpable.
Palpable.
Exactly. Plus, I haven't been in a position to be talking smack like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or really call it out.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of where, at least here, people know who I am, and it's comfortable for me to say what actually happened. And what I'm trying to do is reach back to the girls back home and say, please, keep fighting. Because there's what if I wouldn't have had an example of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. You're setting an example for
I'm trying
artists to see how you can stand up for yourself. And women, not even just artists, just women in general.
Correct.
Stand up for yourself.
Exactly.
That's scary. That's scary to do.
The whole Slight, though, really put out a good song. I gotta say, like, it really works some magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and thank you to Jamie Commons, because I was a
Yes.
little shook, and he was like, no, we're fucking writing that song.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Yeah, he's great. Now it's going to be the title of the whole record.
This is your Thank You, Amy song.
Yes. You get it.
Yeah.
Yes, you get it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great
Have you
story.
heard Woman Enemy?
Oh, yeah,
Did
we've
you do
been
it?
playing a lot.
Okay,
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
good. Okay, good. Because I want to make sure your listeners.
And if
I-
y'all have not heard it, you're listening to this.
I've listened to it so many
You have
times with
got
the
to.
riff at the beginning. That's why.
You
I've
love
listened to the whole thing.
it.
But
Okay.
the words are great too. And I was curious what that song applied to in your life.
Yeah.
Because you go a bunch of different directions with the lyrics on it.
Okay,
For
no, wait.
sure.
Let me tell you a funny story. BMI put me on with at the Bluebird last week. Okay, and I get there, and the other group is 12. Not kidding. And the girl next to me was 17, 18, and he says to me, "Don't play that song." I said, "Baby, I'm here because I just dropped that song. I'm playing that song."
And it's got a little E next to it.
Correct,
You knew
bingo.
that.
Yeah.
You knew that, BMI.
But he's a great guy. So, but to like, I'm on stage and I'm like, Shannon just told me maybe don't play this song. But the little 12-year-old just said sucks in the song. So I said, hey, this is what we're going to do. And we played fill in the blank with the Bluebird. So instead of me cussing, I stopped every time, and the whole crowd figured it out. And it was hilarious.
That's showmanship right there.
And
Good
Jody
for
Messina was in
you.
the front row, so I was really nervous.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I know, isn't she the coolest? With
She's
the
the
90s queen.
Playing in front of a crowd is hard, but when you play, like when I do something in front of, like if I do a speaking event in front of other journalists or broadcasters, I get very nervous.
Yes.
So
Because
playing
they
in
know
front
when
of
you're
someone-
messing up.
Well, in intimate
Right.
space like the Bluebird, that's about as hard as it gets.
Oh, yeah, and she was smacking that gum.
What's she thinking?
Look, I know.
Thank you.
Well, and you know what's funny is that my rhythm player is Brent Rader, and Brent played for Jody for a long time, and I always play Lesson and Leaving, but I do it like Dottie West. So a couple weeks ago, he was at the house, we were running through it, and we were talking about that. I left there, went to the grocery store, and literally ran into her. So when I saw her, I was like, hey, I hit you the other day in Publix. It was funny, she keeps coming up into the
This is
radar.
funny. Like all the big country stars finish their sets and then go to
And go to
Publix.
It was late at night on the weekend. That's what we do. I guess.
Who do you work with over at BMI?
Shannon Sanders.
Okay. Yeah, they're good people over there.
Do you remember, he wrote all those India R&B songs.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
And not your average girl from your video.
Have you done the rooftop thing yet?
No, Shannon.
Well, Shannon. It's a beautiful rooftop setting, and it's kind of fun going up there.
Yeah,
and
I would
listening
love
to
to
music
do it.
down there. There we go. So we'll work on it.
Yeah.
I'll call Mason. I'll call Clay. I'll call Clay Bradley,
Yeah, I
and
can
I'll say
imagine.
yes.
He's wheeling and dealing right
Yeah, I appreciate you.
They won't
Neil.
take my calls.
That's awesome.
Do you, because you're all over, format-wise, you don't really fit a mold.
Correct, so
You don't
it's
do
taking
that
some time.
mold thing.
You
Is-
get it.
that puts brakes on you, right? It's hard to get the traction because everyone that's in this business wants to categorize you.
Yes.
They want to say Sarah Douga is this, and you can't really
That's
say
it
that
all.
with Sarah
And I
Douga.
can't.
No.
But you know what it did is that as soon as I got here, it was like meetings, Universal, Big Yellow Dog, da-da-da-da-da, all these, I had Sony, I had everyone as soon as we met, and every one of them, except for not every one of them. Okay, but every time it's like they get it, but then I'll get asked questions like, "Are you a songwriter or are you an artist?" And I'm like, "Honey, I am both, and I can't separate it,
Right.
and I can't, and now it doesn't matter because isn't that crazy how much it's
It's just
changed?"
he's asking that like it's a bad thing because I think that should be a
No,
positive.
not a bad thing. I think what they were trying to do is that I didn't have my branding together. And so they were trying to put me in one lane so to build it makes perfect sense. But I wasn't there yet. But I think the point you're trying to make is that I've splashed enough waves to get attention, but I think I'm gonna have to do that on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you
Well,
doing
it's
that?
going to happen.
Yeah. how
We're
are you
doing it now, I guess. Do you know, you come up with all these plans and you try to do things, and I've gone viral a few times on social media, on TikTok. I love TikTok.
Me too, girl.
People are real.
It's so fun.
It is so fun.
Yeah.
But
I can't work the app. Anyway, go.
You're all right,
We'll
Dad.
help
We'll
you.
take care of you.
Yeah,
It's
grandpa.
all good.
Grandpa. No, like,
I think it has to happen. I think you have to let go of the reins.
You do. You do.
So that's
because
what I'm
these
doing
plans
right
that you're
now.
making, they're not your plans. You gotta leave it
Correct.
to someone else.
but you live in a town where you bump into one person one day, and the next day you're on the podcast, and the
Yeah,
next
correct.
day you're writing with someone else, and the next day you're doing the BMI rooftop, and it just kind of snowballs from there.
Exactly. And actually hearing you say those really lovely things at the beginning is super validating because it just makes you remember, like, hey, honey, all you really have to do is stand up and shine.
Truly.
And everyone.
And do what you do. Because there's
Yes.
a reason that you do what you do.
Right.
And there's a reason everyone responds to it that way. So that should be just
Well-
more of an affirmation that keep doing that.
You have to go through 3 I want to quit stages.
Yeah.
Right? And
Oh
once
my
you get,
God.
once
How
you,
many of you been there?
so you've been there?
Are you
So
kidding?
once you pass the 3 I want to quit hysteria, you're good.
When you
You're
have
done.
kids and you're hungry?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, but
It's this
here's
hard.
the thing, if it wasn't hard, then why would we do it?
Right. That's
Like-
exactly what Tiger Lily said. They said
Yeah.
the same thing. They said there are a million other things that we could do. It would have been way easier.
Yes. I'm a wildlife biologist. I could have gone been
Yeah.
a normal person.
We haven't even talked about that.
No,
Can we talk about that for a second?
It's fascinating, actually.
Well, I just got a really lovely check. Thank you so much, McNeese State University. To go to school. And in Louisiana, you have TOPS programs. So if you have, I was one of those kids. So
Yeah.
I got a nice check. I pocketed money to go to school. So I was like, okay, I'll do this. But before I took it, I told them, hey, this is not what I'm going to be doing. And they were like, yeah, you're going to write textbooks. And
Textbooks, yeah.
I am that kind of person. But I was like, I'm really not. I'm going to be writing songs. But I did work for, I had short stints at U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Texas Parks and Wildlife, and Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. But yeah, I got published as an undergrad in peer-reviewed journals. And I do love it. But I think it's all the same thing that we're still doing now. You're just
Yes.
observing and learning the world.
So you go to school and then you declare your major, or you just like, I like this. I'm gonna do. Like, how did this come about? Because most people who don't know what they want to do say, I'm gonna do communications.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to get on TV.
You went very
Ta-da.
specific.
Yeah, well, I grew up working cows. My dad, cowboy, his best friend was the largest cattle producer in Louisiana. We were raised on a farm. So I worked for a vet tech. I thought I was going to be a veterinarian. And then a lot of the money that gets made for veterinarians, especially large animal where I was, is genetic alterations. And I don't love
Yeah.
that.
Makes you uncomfortable. Right?
It does
That's
make me
me too.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with it for people that it doesn't make them uncomfortable. I can't go against my own morals.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
and I sure as hell eat that steak. But I read it, so I was at this stage where in
She
school.
doesn't.
Yeah, but she's happy.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I don't care what you eat. I don't care what anybody eats. You do
Exactly.
you.
You do you. Exactly.
Yeah.
I read this book called The Rhythm of Life by Matthew Kelly. I was
Okay.
super Catholic. At the time, he was a super Catholic guy, and I wrote down all these things that I loved, and I was like, oh, I really just like the world. And so I went with wildlife management. But I did triple major. Wildlife management, animal science, and ag education.
Casual triple major.
Well, I didn't finish. I was like, at the end of my third year, I was like, oh, I can just graduate. And so I did. So I just graduated with one.
It's
Good
incredible.
for you. Do you ever drop knowledge unexpectedly? Like, here's a beautiful singer-songwriter, and then all of a
Go
sudden...
on a Radnor walk with me. And
Oh, right, I was going to say...
I bet.
Oh, that's Genius Operandi. You know, that's still,
Correct.
it's still there.
Stop it.
These
Yeah.
things evolved over 10 million years. I would just
you
think
know
that
me.
I would think that would be hilarious.
Yes, and it's quite hard to keep my mouth shut sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like reading the room like, do you want the full version of Sarah Douga or do you want the cute on stage version? Because
No, it's what sets you apart.
I definitely probably have that tism. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then-
yeah.
yeah, those little things.
Well,
But do you know who I see over there all the
Who?
time? Earl Budley. Do you know Earl Budley?
Oh.
He wrote "I've Got Friends in Low."
Oh.
He wrote that
By
himself.
himself. I love him. Listen, he's like on another plane, and every time I see him, it's like, home.
You feel it.
Yeah. It's
That's
just,
fun.
You don't have to filter yourself.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Earl Bud is he came to the station when I played Woman Out of Me. He goes, hey kid, congrats on your hit. Keep in touch. I love him.
Do you just
I
spend a
know.
lot of time in nature like that?
I do. It's how I get in the soul of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and come back down. I love
You
people.
need sunlight every day, right? You need to
Correct.
get sun on the skin.
Yeah.
Eyes open, no sunglasses, get the full spectrum.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
I love this connection, but the crowd connection will take a lot of energy. I love it, and then it takes a lot from you.
Sure.
So
Totally agree.
And even social media
Yes.
is still like a indirect crowd. So I come back to the nature.
That's
side of
draining.
things.
This is more
This is fulfilling. to me.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
And energizing. And
Yeah,
I
and
can see that.
exciting. Like I
Yes.
see myself in you, you see yourself.
Yes, for sure.
It's fun.
For sure.
I'm gonna hit pause real quick.
What's wrong?
Everything. Okay. I was just making sure the equipment's working right.
What's
Okay.
wrong, honey?
No, nothing.
Okay.
It's my shirt.
Oh my gosh, I did not. Okay, now I know your language. I just want to make sure that she's playing her song.
Oh.
I thought
was
a
like-
while ago I was gonna play it, but I didn't want
Yeah.
to say it because of time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that she's playing her song acoustically or like playing her song.
Oh,
And I was
Woman
like,
Anatomy.
sorry
about that. Okay.
Oh
I
gosh.
saw you
Now
wearing
you're
this and I
embarrassed.
was like,
Sorry, Levi. No, I was
No,
trying to
no.
make cue cards. And
Oh, honey, Karen, you're so cute. That's passion.
it is.
All right, we get back into it. I'm sorry
Okay,
about that.
okay.
Not at all, and you're so precious.
And Levi, if you leave this in, that's just fine too. Right? That's kind of a
He's
funny
just
segment.
so
right?
precious.
I really wanted to hear the song.
Yeah,
Um,
we're gonna make it. Yeah.
How can you be upset with that?
No.
Oh no, not at all. No,
I'm
she
not
was-
calling you out. I'm saying in general, it's so precious.
Yeah.
She's trying to send me a message, and I couldn't tell. It's like the house is on fire, your zipper is undone.
And this is the story of a woman and a man.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
This is the song. This is it. This is our next song.
So I had to stop everything and make sure I knew what was going on here because I would have felt stupid if I didn't. But you found success overseas for a while, right? You went over there and toured
Well,
for a
it
little
depends
bit.
on what you mean by success, but I have
All right.
been very blessed that my first place I played was Country Music Week, which is C2C's fall event.
Right.
And I played under the apple tree with Bob Harrison. The English people have sold out of my merch before I ever sang a song live.
How cool is that?
Makes you just love them.
Means you got good merch too.
You do.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep-
Nikki,
oh,
you're
we're
so
gonna keep-
good at it. Vanna White.
I love it. I love it. Y'all go get you one of these.
And that is on the Sarah Douga website, which
Yes.
is sarahduga.com.
Yeah, I
need to
Everything's all taken care of.
Yes, girl. We're picking you out. You better put these up there.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on.
Have you learned anything about songwriting from Jim, or do you have your style, he has his
Lord
style?
Jesus.
Like,
I don't know if I can answer that.
Okay.
He's so wild. Have you ever had a conversation with that
Uh-uh.
man? And there's skits the whole time.
He's like squirrel.
He's hilarious.
that's
And here's
Laudertails.
the Laudertails.
The Laudertails.
You get it.
Mhm.
The Laudertails. But it's hilarious on stage because I know he's joking.
Right.
But he commits to the bit. So other people in the audience, you can feel them like,
Oh my gosh.
What's up
is
with
this guy good?
Is this for real?
Yeah. It's awesome.
It's
let me
sort of
think about
there's a genius to that.
the thing with Lauderdale is he doesn't make you feel like he is the leader. Every now and then he'll say something like, "Oh, follow me."
got 2 Grammys. How many do you?
Yeah, and he'll
Okay.
say, "Follow me to the bank on this one." But too many
I
times,
love that.
too many times I've told, like our first song we wrote, I put a line in there. He was damn convinced. It was 2:00 in the morning, right? And he goes, "Honey, we've backed ourselves into a corner. There's no more alt rhymes in the English language. I know it." I said, "You just go." He calls it when he needs to go to the bathroom. He's like, "Let me go take a wiki link." This is what I'm talking about, dude. That's what I'm talking about. So it's not. He's like, you're on the same level.
That's hilarious.
It's, if there's something I've learned, it's to be open like that.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who you're writing
Right.
with or what, because that's how he treats you, and it makes you want to show yourself.
It makes you more authentic and real, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend Gordon Bradbury is the first guy I ever wrote with in Louisiana. He always says, "Dare to be dumb," but he like
love
just
that.
say your idea out.
Yeah.
That's like social media.
Yes.
Social media, you have to dare to be dumb.
Oh, completely.
Or, right, you have
Any
to-
creativity.
Right.
You have to ask
You-
the dumb question.
Yeah, and why are you worried about what it looks like anyway? Your whole job is to not care. But anyway, Lauderdale goes to take a wiki link and he comes back and I said, "Ho ho ho," and he goes, "What?" I said, "Do you feel the ho ho ho?" And he was like, "That's the best line I've ever heard in my life." And he put it in the song. I love it. He's just fun.
Yeah.
He just gets on the love. He just loves. Jim loves. That is what he does.
Right.
What a compliment.
He's the best. And he introduced me to Buddy Miller when I first got here, and Buddy kisses my hand and he goes, "It's such an honor to be in your presence tonight." I know.
Oh,
But
wow.
that's what I'm talking about. Lauderdale, when I first moved here, we went on a parade of publishers. I'm not kidding. For 2 days, he took me to every publisher that he could get into and said, "You need to sign this girl."
Wow.
He can get into any publisher. That's not a problem.
He does
still
not
don't
have to do that
I
either.
still don't have a pub deal, by the way.
There we go.
But it was just.
But the fact that he had to do that, he knew.
And he is busy. Like, he's
Yeah.
insane. He's
That's it.
never stopped. So, yes, he's taught me how to love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine having 2 kids and trying to get a music career going. It keeps you a little bit busy too.
It's a little bit insane.
A little bit.
But I love it because they ground me.
Yeah.
It like I'm kind of like a border collie. Like, I'd work myself to death, and those two make me. I have to make supper.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to
yeah.
stop and look somebody in the eyeballs and talk to them for a minute. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's wonderful, and they make. You don't know how selfish you are until you have kids.
Oh boy.
So true.
And so they make you such a deeper person. I love them, and like now I'm divorced. So if I didn't have my babies, like, where would my family be? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guess what? In a few years, they also make you feel stupid.
They
Just
are.
because nothing you say is going to be right in a few years, okay, Sarah? Just get that.
We'll all get there.
Can you just let me be happy for a
Be,
minute now?
be grounded now, be wrong later. But no, you're good.
We need
You're good,
that
you're good.
T-shirt.
Be grounded now.
Be grounded, be wrong later.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
Well, we would love to hear you sing.
Do you want to hear Woman Out of
We
You?
would
Okay.
love it. We've
I
been
can
talking
cuss
about
on
it.
here?
It's a beautiful song.
Absolutely.
It is such
That
a
sounds
Hey,
really custom.
are you comfortable in that chair? Or do you want me to bring something like a stool?
I'm
Get
just
your
going to
arm
pop
out.
my butt out a little bit.
Pop your butt out.
This is such a treat.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna do a little of my magic.
Okay. How lucky are we right now?
Thank you all for letting me do this. I'm having a blast. Are we close on time?
Oh, we're doing great. We're fine. Okay.
Perfect.
Let me bring that microphone in.
You
Hold on a
probably
second.
want
I
this
want,
one.
I want this for your voice and that for your guitar.
My hole is way over here. That's what she said.
Thank you for.
You think that's going to pick up? Whatever, you're the boss.
I can hear it pretty good.
Okay, good. You
Yeah.
know what's up. Okay, so I wrote this with Jamie in Commons, and now you know the
Now
Paul
we know
Harvey.
the story.
Now you know the
Rest
rest of the story. Oh, I love Paul Harvey. Anyway, so this wasn't my first situation in that position. Well, honey, you're not the first one to use that line on me. See, I ain't like those other girls trying to get their drinks for free. And I don't need a reason. You better let me be. 'Cause I don't think you're man enough to make a woman out of me. No, I don't think you're man enough to make a woman out of me. I heard you were the quarterback way back in '03. Well, honey, we're living in the 2020s, and that don't mean shit to me. And I don't need a reason. You better let me be. 'Cause I don't think you're man enough to make a woman out of me. No, I don't think you're man enough to make a woman out of me. This is that part on the record where that you like, and that's Deanie Richardson on that They Don't Kill It,
I love you, fiddle and everything.
and Steve Henson on the steel guitar, and Austin Crone. Well, this can be our little secret. See, only we know which is which. So you can go and tell your buddies what you want, but we both know who's the bitch. And I don't need a reason. You better let me be. 'Cause I don't think you're man enough to make a woman out of me. No, I don't think you're man enough to make a woman out of me. I don't think you're man enough to make a woman out of me. No, I don't think you're man enough to make a woman out of me.
That's amazing.
My God.
Thanks
Like-
so much.
There's-
Therapy. That
There's,
was therapeutic.
The
no
truth.
no processing on the microphones and no filter in the signal.
Oh,
You know? I'm gonna move that away real quick.
Wow.
Thank you.
Sarah, that's just amazing.
Like run through a brick wall
Exactly.
and then like, high five someone.
You get it. That's why I wanted the Shania Twain feel at the top. Like,
Yes.
it needs to be like, let's go, girls.
It is.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you so much.
Did you ever realize you have kind of an Elvis lip going when you're singing?
Do you know what? I
sometimes?
dated someone that told me that not too
It's
long
cute.
ago.
It's really cute.
It's just
Yeah.
it just kind of rises on its own every once in a while. It's like
That's what he
It's
said.
your inner soul. It's your inner Elvis coming out. I skipped right over that.
you
And
missed
y'all-
it. Did you
No, I heard it, but I kept skipped over it.
Anyway,
and
this
y'all
is
went
water.
on.
it kind of
No.
rises on its own.
Oh my
Look how
god.
red Neil is.
Not when you're old. Not when you're older, Sarah. Don't worry.
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh.
I just don't know what that feels like. So
Mhm.
I'm happy for you, and I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
We apologize to Carrie.
Carrie's back there just grinning.
It's
I
I
think
knew it.
I think she's all right.
She's gonna be fine.
that seems to me like a song. As soon as you finish it, you go, "This can go somewhere."
Yeah.
This one is different because it's got the energy, it's got the words, it's got the
story. It's a story.
got the swear words, it's got everything.
Thank you.
I love
And
it.
Lauderdale actually said big things about this when he first
Yeah.
heard it.
I feel it. I
Thank
feel
you.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It feels like, and it's so, it's like, for me personally, on a selfish note, it's like, hey dude, you don't know how many brick walls I've had to run through,
Right.
like you said, to get where I am today, and it ain't, might not be nothing
There's
to
more
you.
bricks ahead.
Correct.
This
like,
is nothing. to me.
you don't know what
Come
you're
on.
messing with.
Yeah.
It's always like, this looks cute, but I am mean as hell, so
Yes.
please don't.
You
make
had
me
to
do it.
survive through a whole bunch to get
Correct.
through there.
Exactly. Most of us do.
My friends that are songwriters, you'd think they are writing like 1 or 2 songs a month or whatever, but then they open up a closet and there's notebook pile on notebook pile on
Is that
notebook.
you?
Oh yeah.
Do you have just a ton of songs sitting there waiting to be
Finished or cut or
birthed or whatever?
something. Yeah, and like I have from when I was 8, I've kept every piece of paper of every.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a psychopath. Through every hurricane. Do you know how many hurricanes like have ripped through our area? And every time mom's like, when I was a kid, every time mom was like, only take what you need. I'm like, tub,
Your
songs.
Songs.
In my, even if I had
That's-
to buckle it in because there was no more room in the vehicle.
Thank goodness you saved them.
And they're my babies.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
I love it.
incredible.
Okay, your song is out. Where can we hear it? Where can
Everywhere,
people
it's on
download it?
all major music platforms. It's called Woman Out of Me.
Yep.
Everywhere you can get your music.
Well, you have some other songs too that,
Yeah.
that are just
Thank
as
you.
meaningful, but they just come across differently
Probably
as
Joe
well.
and Jen is my
They,
favorite.
you love to put fiddles in your songs.
I do
You
love
love that.
Well,
sound.
I'm Cajun.
Yeah.
And I love to me, a fiddle cries right, and a steel guitar cries right. That's why I landed somewhere in country music. But I can't wait for the rest of this record to come out because you'll get it's like the one more time.
Is that a shoe doing that?
Yes.
That's my
Yes.
fancy leather shoes. You know me.
Oh,
I thought you were,
up.
I thought you were getting it out of your system. I'm like, just go.
When plastic rubs together.
Who makes these, Neil? Who are these?
What?
How do
I don't know.
they-
These are ones I bought. These are.
No.
What?
Keep going. Tell me.
Anyway.
I love that we've accidentally humiliated Neil
These
twice.
these weren't owned by a former Titan. I bought them used.
Oh
okay? So
yeah,
there you
we
go.
love
Yes.
consignment.
Yes.
We love the earth.
I was just amazed that I had the same size shoe as Cortland Finnegan.
And what
so.
you mean by that is?
Congratulations.
No. Now I know you. Now I know you.
I'm sorry, when you paint the picture and you open the door, you want me to just look
She's
at
not afraid to step through the door.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Y'all.
Do you? Where did you record all this stuff? By the way, what
This
studio?
record
What
was
studio?
at Starstruck, and they were
Starstruck
so
is
great to
great,
me.
yeah.
They were great. You know what they call me? The gumbo lady, because I always cook for my band. And so now when I show up there, they're like, well, where's the gumbo? Last time I was like, hey homie, you're getting sausage over in red gravy.
Do you make a gumbo?
Yeah, baby, I'm Cajun.
Yeah.
My grandma had 15 kids. If there's one thing we
There's
know how
got to be
to do, it's
easy
cook.
questions in interviews too, okay?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I should have brought you some gumbo when it's a little, cooler.
Not 1,000.
We're essentially neighbors, so.
Do you know how to say? Do you know how to say Lafayette in Tennessee?
Lafayette. What's
Yeah.
wrong with y'all?
I know.
It feels weird coming out of my mouth. I don't like the way
It
it
makes you
feels.
busy.
I just had to ask that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious about that.
Lafayette.
The rest of the album. Tell us some of the songs that you like that you really, you love them all.
Okay.
You love them all.
I do, but here's the thing I'm
That was a
excited about.
dumb question.
It's the sound. It's the sound. So there's one song on there called "What Opens with a French." Yeah, I'll tell you the intro is. Bella Louisiane, je chante mon cœur pour toi, which is a Zachary Richard song, and it says, beautiful Louisiana, I sing my heart for you. So it's me to tell my people, like, hey, I've not forgotten, and I want you to stand up, because I want those other girls to come.
Okay.
And so then it's, I'll just tell you what it is. Every Single Night is the first track, and it's about how every time you get out of a relationship and they bring you back, you know, every time you're single, every time you're trying to have just one drink, and it happens every single night. So it's that. I wrote that one by myself, and I'm really excited about that one. I like the way the sound came. I worked with Jason Hall, the one that looks like Jesus, not Dan Huff's.
Right.
Jason Hall. You're so he's so good. Like, to be a good producer, you really have to have a good engineer, and that man, and every time there was something I had to say that I really didn't want to because it was going to make me look like an asshole to the band, I would just whisper it to Jason. I'm like,
Is this okay?
how can you say this? And he would do it so eloquently. So he's such a wonderful human.
He's your personal chat GBT, right? It's like, okay.
How do you know me?
Take this and make it,
Yeah,
throw it through a filter where I can tell another human being without pissing them
you
off.
know what's up. Do you log all your conversations with other humans in ChatGPT? I do.
All the conversations.
It saved me from a narcissistic relationship. I'm not kidding.
You know, that's actually a really good idea, though.
Oh, I do. I clock our text messages. I asked it to analyze personality A over personality B and
That
didn't
is
tell it
so
who it
smart.
was.
Work smarter, not harder.
If I get a good email or good text, I write back, oh, nice AI. I'm on to you. But AI is changing songwriting and everything, right? It's
Yeah.
like this, and not, you know, it's
There's a
kinda
delicate
getting-
balance there to me.
There's
You know,
a-
you have to be. AI will never be able to be a human, you know, but it's a great tool. But yeah, and I hope people, you know what, Melody Walker just made a great post about this. You know Melody Walker, she wrote those Sierra Farrell songs, American Dreamer. Melody Walker's an amazing artist and great songwriter, but she just made a big post about, hey, songwriters, don't think you're going to get something creative because AI is pulling data from other people. So, you know, it's a delicate balance. I use it as a cheaper version of therapy and a faster diary because it just clocks my...
That's smart.
I'll ask it, like, chat, how many times in the past week have I felt like this? And it'll be like, I'm like, oh, that correlates with XYZ. Girl, you just need to go to bed.
So you have a personal relationship with it.
I
It's
do.
weird.
I keep it's a data chart for me.
Yeah.
That's smart, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All girls do this with guys, by the way.
Oh yeah, guys, watch out. We're dead. We're dead. Why is the population of the Earth going down? Well, women are running our conversations through ChatGPT.
Figures you out.
Now they know what we're saying.
We don't make that.
Because we don't even know what
Oh,
we're
God.
saying.
Okay, wait.
So,
I was
anyway.
going to answer your question about the record.
Yes.
And then there's a couple other songs I'm super excited about. I did one in French. Chat Bébé Creole, which is a song that I used to sing with High Performance, which is a French band back home. That was written by Dennis McGee in the late 1800s, and it's written from the man's point of view, and it's about watching his wife leave him, and he's so sad he wants to die. And when I play it on stage, I always say that, and then I go, I hope you enjoy it. It's just super bugged up, but it was so fun to produce because
The waiters are removing all the sharp tools from all the tables, and then I'll start playing.
I'm not a violent person. Anyway, I loved producing that one. Dave Racine was on percussion, and we cut the whole track together as a band, and then I took everyone out, put them in the control room, turned the lights off, and I said, Dave, can you please just tell me an entirely different story? We already know what happened, and the man is like, I was like, the man is speaking. I'm singing, but the whole song is written from his point of view.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the woman's doing? She's leaving. And so he wrote this, I was like, don't give me anything on beat. She's leaving her husband.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest. It just turned out so cool.
I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you. I'm so proud of the track.
When is it coming out?
The whole record? I don't know
All
yet.
of it.
I'm trying to get a little traction somewhere so I don't have to work quite so
Yeah.
hard. So when you people start giving me some loving.
You almost sang that. You people.
You can't. Stop.
I just can't help myself. And there's another one on there called Speaking Tequila that I wrote with David Maldonado. And Jay Bellarose did the percussion on it, who's my favorite. He did all of Alison Krauss and Robert Plant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And when I didn't tell him how terrified I was to call, but when I called, you know, and then he was amazing. And he called me back and he goes, hey, I want you to use me for everything you do. I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, he's so cool.
Let me check.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
It's so cool.
We're fans. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm going to my phone right now to download this.
Oh, it's fun. We just have it on rotation around the house here, and like I said
Well, yeah,
at the beginning of this, it's such a varied list of tracks that you do. It's kind of just fun how you just drift from one mood to another mood.
It's super Louisiana, I think.
Yeah.
Here it is, guys. Just save it. Saved. And it really helps, too.
Do you know what? I felt that in my heart.
Did you?
Yeah.
Add it to my like songs.
I'm glad we figured out how to say Douga instead of Douga.
Me too.
Douga.
Okay.
You're, Douga.
Hey, Douga.
Yeah.
Okay,
Doug with
that's
an A.
much
Doug with an A.
much.
Douga.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, you know.
I get you. Are you? Do you have any regular places we can watch you? Do you have any like tours or?
I usually play the Nashville Palace the last Sunday of the month.
Okay.
I do the brunch with Mindy Miller, and if you've never heard of Mindy M. Miller, one of these days she's gonna have her moment. She's an incredible musician. I love playing with her because she whoops my ass on stage every Sunday, every time I play.
Okay.
Yeah.
You love that.
Makes you better, right?
She
It's
makes
like-
me so much. Like I'm always the songwriter in the friend group. Like everybody's like, I can't wait to write with. I know these things. You know, I can't wait to write with Sarah. But when I get with people who are like, God, I cannot play guitar. She's so good,
Yeah.
and she's so good with the audience and her voice. Anyway, I'm over here just promoting my friends. On that note, S.J. McDonald's the same.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know. I love that about you. You've done that
It's,
almost
yeah,
this whole interview.
you are very much,
Yeah.
you speak about everyone around you.
Well, you are really.
You're like an empath in
Yeah.
the way that you speak about everyone except yourself.
But you're lifting
Oh.
everyone up as you're also talking about yourself.
because it's
which
all the
is-
same.
Yeah, it is.
We're all. They made me.
hmm
You are who you are because of who you play with.
And you lift them up, they bring you up too.
Yeah, I really don't see it as separate. It is
Yeah.
truly the same. We get here if they decide to work with you, then you're.
Mhm.
It's like Bob Harris told me at dinner one time. He was like, "You never know where your vibrations are going. It's like once you sing, it never really stops in the world."
Right.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's what it is. So the Nashville Palace. I'm trying to get back to the Station Inn at some point in time this year, but I think they're booked this year. But Nashville Palace, Station Inn. Hopefully, we'll be back at the Bluebird. And Lord, I'm trying to get in anywhere that'll have me.
All right.
Well, there you go, everyone. You're available.
I'm
Available for work. It's so fun. There's so many accomplished musicians in this town. It's like I've had plumbers come into my house to pick up my guitars before and just like make me want to give up even touching it again. Like because there's talent galore, and to stand out, which you do, is not an easy thing to do. So we congratulate you on
Thank you
that.
so
And
much.
thank you for sharing it with
You're
us.
and you're
Thank you.
you're just you're so determined, and that you don't see that as much either. And I can just tell that's going to happen for you.
It is.
Right?
It is.
So
Thank you so much.
you can get your Chat GPT therapy later on. But
Yeah, we'll talk about it tonight.
You
this
can use it to
therapist-
help figure out where you're going to put all your awards.
This therapist is saying,
Organized.
things are happening right now around you that you don't even see, that are
Yeah.
connecting dots and filling in spaces for you, that all of a sudden you're going to look around and go, oh crap, it's happening.
That's right.
And I think it is. I think you do say that now.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
We're just happy
Before
to be
we
along.
close off, can
Yeah.
I just tell you that the Kentucky Gentleman just cut one of my songs called Cheap Motel.
Okay.
And I think they're having a little moment right now.
Cheap Motel.
Yeah, so
Alright.
their record is, it's not a single, their record is it's called Rhinestone Revolution. And they're just cute.
Wait,
Okay.
you wrote Cheap Motel.
I wrote Cheap Motel with them. They came to me and they said they wanted something country, which I love that people come to me to say
Do you
that.
spend a lot of time at cheap motels?
Shh. This isn't that kind of podcast.
I'm looking for your
Hey.
I'm looking for your inspiration. Cool boots, by the way.
Oh, you know what? I won these singing. I won the Texaco Country Showdown back in
They're-
2011.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
Thank you. These are corrals. They're super comfy.
They look like they've been worn for a little bit. So 2012, I get it. I get
You
you.
know what's up.
All right. Where we talk about music,
Yeah.
you said it's everywhere. You have a website. You have merch that you sell. What other things can we do to support you?
Tell your people.
Tell your people.
Tell your people.
Tell your people.
Yeah, I'm writing these songs and they come to me for you.
If people don't understand that from hearing you play that live here, just out of the blue, the talent there, we can't help them anymore. Our job is done here.
Thank
Our
you
work
so
is done.
much.
Yeah. Thanks. All right.
Thank
Appreciate you.
you.